Hi everybody, I'm here in Istanbul today, and I'm basically going to be giving you guys what I did with my 23-hour layover here in Istanbul. I know a lot of people see these long layovers and they're like, oh, I don't want to get that flight, but I definitely always see it as a chance to get out and see a country that you weren't going to see anyways. So here's what I'm going to do with my 24 hours. It's probably going to be a couple of videos, but hope you enjoy. So I'm checking into my hotel, or my Airbnb, which is a hotel in Istanbul, and I noticed that they had money under the counter. So I wanted to be the first to give Nigerian Naira because I still have some in my wallet, but I wasn't. Somebody else beat me to it. But if you come here, if you visit, right here, this is mine. I put it here. Well, normally we're pretty bad at showing the hotels off, but I'll remember this time and I'll actually show you guys the little hotel room I got. This is like 20 bucks and it's in the old town of Istanbul. So if you're into history, like the Hagia Sophia and all that stuff, it is like a 10-minute walk from here. And this is the bathroom. It's pretty nice. I like the hotel. Like for 20 bucks, you know, in a very, like, one of the most historic cities in the world, I'd say. It's not a bad price. But there's tourist stuff everywhere. Everywhere you go up and down the streets, there's shops and restaurants and everything catered towards tourists. You can tell. The guy that I worked at the front desk, he kind of told me about it. He's like, yeah, the city fills up with a lot of tourism, especially on holidays. Anywhere in the world, whenever they have a big holiday, the city here will get a lot of tourists coming in. Like right now, he said there's a lot of Indonesians, so there's probably some sort of tourist thing going on there. I have no idea, maybe. It's, June? It's March, like, 4th, 3rd, something like that. So it's March 3rd, and maybe there's a holiday in Indonesia, I don't know. But I'm going to go wander around a little bit downtown tonight and decide on whether or not it's better to show it in the daytime or the night tomorrow. So I came out for a little bit of a stroll, and it's hailing right now. So I'm being pelted by ice, which I don't really think about with Istanbul, but it's happening right now. One of the things that Istanbul's got a lot of famous of is walls. There's a lot of really, like, very, very well-known walls that are from Istanbul because it has historically been the capital of several great empires, and they've built these walls to keep the city very, very safe. And that's one of the things that it was always known for throughout most of its history, is having unpenetrable or unbreachable walls, until of course the Ottomans actually did break them. I don't know if these are any of those, but these are old walls here in the city, in the old city. And they're nice, they're big. Well, the place I wanted to show for the night is closed. They won't even let you walk through the buildings there in the dark or in the night. It says it closes at like 7 or something like that on the poster. But yeah, so if you want to come here, walk the old town, there's a lot still going on, even with the hail coming down like intermittently. There's actually still a lot of people out. And I probably shouldn't say this, but having been here for only a few hours, Istanbul has an enormous number of like very good looking girls, like way better looking than I expected and way more than I think I've ever seen anywhere else. I don't know what that's all about, but hey, if you're into that kind of tourism, there's a lot of them here. Something that was pretty interesting to me, but I didn't get a chance to video it, was when I came through to go to customs, I had to go and get a visa off on the side. It was nothing. There's no like process to it, that you just walk up, give your passport, and they'll give it to you for like, for me, for an American, it's $30 for 90 days. I'm only using 23 hours of that, but I'm sure it's non-redeemable once I leave. But one of the countries, air quotes, countries they had listed was actually Northern Cyprus, which, if anybody doesn't know about that, it's a breakaway region of Cyprus that's majority Turkish, like ethnically Turkic. Now, they used to be pretty heavily mixed across the island where, you know, everybody was everywhere. But that is now a overwhelmingly Turkish part of the city, or of the island, sorry. And the only country on earth that recognized it as independent is Turkey here. So it was interesting getting to see that they have a special price set aside for visas for people from northern Cyprus. These are like the frames of old buildings that used to be right here adjacent to the wall. Well, there's a military security zone. I don't think you can go in there since it says I can't. So I don't know how much of this they actually normally get, but I just saw something that's very funny to me. And I don't know the proper name for it, so if you're really into Roman history, I'm sorry for not saying it. But this is a symbol very heavily associated with Rome. And I'm sure that's why some probably European, maybe a Greek or Italian or something, came and spray painted that on here. On this, whatever this is. So I just ordered one of these cheese pies. What is the name of this place?
Hayat Cafe.
Hayat Cafe?
My restaurant name is Hayat
Okay.
Cafe. It's börek.
Börek?
Börek.
All right, and this is next to all the walls and everything
Where
in
are
the
you
old
from?
city. USA. USA.
Oh, okay.
All right, this is my cheese pie. In the background, there's news about the war in Ukraine. Take a bite of it. They warmed it up for me. It's good. I like it. So, as I was eating my cheese pie, I got to talking to the only other person who was in there right now, who's actually a Belarusian programmer. And he was a really cool dude. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff with his country in the news right now. So we kind of talked about that. And he was, you know, kind of cautious about what he said a little bit, it felt like. But he basically said, you know, in Belarusian news, they've been saying that they have nothing to do with the war whatsoever. But they also said, Lukashenko, I guess at some point had promised that Russian troops would never invade Ukraine from their territory. So that wasn't true either. That was his basic point. So whatever you want to take from that, you can take from that. But that's what it is. The street cats of Istanbul. What an ancient pedigree I'm sure they have. Oh, they'll let me come right up to them. Maybe not. This is total speculation on my part, but you guys can let me know down in the comments if I'm like on the money with this. But okay, so I know Turkish used to be written in a very like an Arabic script basically, right? The same script that Arabic is written in, Turkish was also written in. And then Ataturk came and he modernized the country and he switched them to a Latin alphabet. Now here, there's an inscription, and I'm guessing it's probably not in Arabic. I'm guessing it's probably in Turkish, but in that old script. Now, like I said, I could be totally off the money on this, but if you know, let me know, because I'm actually really interested in that. And then there's also like, I don't know what this thing is, because obviously I can't read that, but people seem to be leaving like bread here. I don't know if it's like an offering thing, and then the hole is like open. So I don't know what this is, what it's all about, but it's something. All right, I'm back on the walls thing. So this is the Bosphorus, right off to the behind me, off to the left, and right here is the ancient sea walls that held back, I have no idea how many invasions from Ottomans and Romans themselves fighting each other. I think the only time prior to the Ottomans actually taking over the city that the city had ever fallen was to the Crusaders. During one of the Crusades, they came here and they got inside the city and they were able to sack it and take over for a very short time. They created, like, I think they called it like the Latin Empire or something like that. But like everything does involved in the Crusades, it fell apart and obviously doesn't exist now, but it didn't even exist back then for that long. But I carry on. Let's see if I can throw any more tidbits in tonight before I get back to my hotel. I saw a restaurant that was named Ottoman. That was cool. I didn't take a video because I didn't think it was worth it, but there was a restaurant with the Ottoman name in it. And it was in the middle of the city center. So where I am is obviously going to be like the most touristed area probably in the entirety of the city, just because it is where the ancient like walls are. It's where the Hagia Sophia that you'll see in the daytime is. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. So there's a lot of tourists here. Everybody I've seen walking around like right now, because it's cold and it's hailing and raining on and off, obviously most of them aren't Turkish people. The only Turkish people are just in their shops, like working those right now. So let's see what happens.